In a world where imagination knows no bounds, where stories come to life on the pages of manga, there exists a treasure trove of hidden gems. These captivating tales, overflowing with creativity and brilliance, have captured the hearts of countless readers. Yet, for reasons unknown, they remain confined within the realm of ink and paper, longing to be animated, yearning to be shared with a wider audience. Join us on a journey through the vast expanse of unadapted manga as we unveil the top 10 great manga that will or may not see the light of animation. Without further delay, let's take a peek. Coming on number 10, Boy's Abyss. The basic story of this one is that of a suicidal boy who has been completely torn apart by his harsh and cruel life. But everything changes when his favorite pop idol visits his dead-end town and turns his whole life upside down. As interesting as it sounds, there aren't many manga that showcase its main characters as, well, a suicidal dude and not making it a freaking joke. Boy's Abyss is certainly not for the faint of heart. The most popular work of the author of this series was not nearly as dark as Boy's Abyss, yet it never got an anime. So imagining this one getting an animated series seems quite far off. Apart from that, Boy's Abyss will probably only appeal to a limited audience, or scared studio producers would interfere with the story to make it more mainstream, turning it into a completely different show, or even worse, another Tokyo Ghoul. So it's probably best to only appreciate the original medium for now. At number 9 we have Fire Punch. What if someone used Amaterasu from Naruto on someone who can't die? Well, that is the main character of Fire Punch. Set in an apocalyptic world, only a little of humanity is left, surviving however they can. But due to this, a phenomenon starts to occur where some people start to awaken various superpowers. Some use it to survive and some use it for destruction. Like if this world wasn't destroyed enough, living peacefully, our main character and his village get attacked by a freak with the power of casting a fire that never burns out. But the problem is, our main character has power as well, the power to regenerate. Everyone around him is burnt to ash, whereas he keeps regenerating and continues to feel the endless pain of burning. It takes him years to finally bear the pain and perform any physical activities, and this is only the beginning of the story. Made from the same author of Chainsaw Man, the world of Fire Punch is 10 times darker, more brutal, and just messed up. Centered around heavy themes such as religious propaganda, vengeance, and depression, it's hard to imagine this show being accepted into mainstream anime. It was already hard enough for Chainsaw Man to be adapted into what it is, and with the story of Fire Punch, it probably won't be animated anytime soon. Coming in number 8, Memories of Emanon. Let's just suppose you received memories from 3 freaking billion years ago. Would you sadly reflect on past experiences? Would you review the meaning of life, or would you just become Sakura from Naruto and literally do nothing as time passes? This manga follows the breathtaking journey through the memory lane of a mysterious girl who experiences billions of years old memories. But after she encounters a 20-year-old man during his ferry ride, she for some reason decides to take him on a world-changing adventure through her past, which records the history of the planet from the moment of its creation. This type of complex storyline in the manga may seem like a great script for an anime, but the unusual story structure and overly detailed art style of the story makes an anime adaptation near impossible. Coming in number 7 is Ultra Heaven. The premise of the story is that society has developed several ways to escape reality, both in the form of drugs that can invoke any emotion, and machines that tap into a person's subconscious, forming virtual worlds which can be controlled with enough mental discipline. This series will confuse you so much that you won't be able to differentiate between reality and the virtual world. After all, this series is all about a drug that makes what you experience seem more real than reality itself. Ultra Heaven is without a doubt one of the most mind-bending visual experiences in all of manga. You will certainly be hesitant to say that any particular moment is reality, and the characters are drawn extremely accurately to actual humans, and their emotions are portrayed incredibly. So to put it straightforward, questionable themes and the outstandingly distinctive artistic direction of the series are something that cannot be replicated in any other medium. So even trying would be like a waste of time and budget for the animation studios. Instead, they should just make season 2 of No Game No Life. Then at number 6, we have Rojika Turakasai. Set in a post-apocalyptic world with only a single human survivor trying to regain knowledge of their old human civilization, Rojika Turakasai is a bizarre manga series that beautifully utilizes its childish character designs to tell a dark, disturbing story of a faraway planet. At first glance, it is a bizarre yet charming sci-fi comedy with a heartfelt premise. Nevertheless, as the world of Rojika Turakasai continues to expand, the narrative's direction becomes more and more sinister. With a simple world building and thought-provoking and memorable chapters, this manga is bittersweet. It is hopeful and comforting, yet relentless and chilling. It is hard to imagine that Rojika Turakasai would achieve a great following if ever adapted into an anime. Although its conflicting art direction and themes work well in the manga, the same can't be said for an anime. Coming in at number 5 is Holyland. Holyland offers something that all martial arts-based mangas do. The main character is bullied at school and doesn't have the strength to protect himself until he gets the idea that as long as he can do a simple punch and get away, he'll be okay. However, as he beats one thug after another, things start to get out of hand. This led to many rumors and more people go after him. Eventually, he wanders the streets trying to find a way out of it all. Yet he quickly learns that maybe the streets are the only place he can be accepted in. Fight after fight, he searches for his stupid yet crucial answer. Now, all of this is just the start of the manga. It doesn't focus on a specific martial arts style, but elaborates on street fighting. Anything goes when you're in the streets, including the type of fighting style you use and your weapons. It's dirty, and you only win by the amount of damage you do to your enemy. Not when the bell rings for the match to be over, nor when the enemy admits defeat. The unusual storytelling style as well as the fleshed out characters will probably go missing if this manga is ever adapted into an anime. Also, very similar to Rojika Turakasai, this series will probably not get as much attention from the community as it deserves, so it is probably best to stick to the original medium. And at number 4 we have A Bride's Story. The manga begins with a 20-year-old girl marrying a 12-year-old boy through an arranged engagement. And before you guys call the police, let me tell you right now, this show is based in the 1900s. But coming back to the story, the first interaction between the newlywed couple is it's a little awkward to say the least, especially since there's an 8-year age difference. But quite soon they become quite fond of each other, forming a strong bond. The plot of A Bride's Story is episodic, showing different aspects from different angles of the townsfolk way of living. The creator behind A Bride's Story is one of the most detailed illustrators in the industry. The manga features clothing patterns worthy of being displayed in art galleries. So even though the soothing narration style of A Bride's Story could potentially become the script of a masterpiece of an anime, the art style of the author might be too detailed for the medium. It is disappointing, yet it is the truth that the anime industry has to come a long way before even attempting to adapt works like A Bride's Story. At number 3, we have The Climber, an introverted high school student who decides to heal his soul by climbing mountains. Sounds interesting, huh? Well, that's the basic story of this manga. We watch as this young, aimless boy becomes a man through the many trials and tribulations he faces. Through the mountains he climbs and through the people he meets. Death, betrayal, disloyalty, and sacrifice follow the main character on his passage to adulthood. This series can present the harsh realities of life. Suffice to say the least, this is far from a heartwarming story, so don't expect anything happy. The Climber's soft yet mature storytelling is very unique to the world of anime and manga. It deals with a lot of heavy baggage, such as psychological trauma and self-reflection. The manga takes the audience on the main character's path from an amateur to a professional climber. The Climber's art style stands out due to its extraordinary aesthetic and it complements the story's ground themes. But when was the last time you guys watched a show like this? So the manga's ideas and visuals don't play into current anime trends and strengths, and that is the bitter and harsh truth we have to face. At number 2, we have Goodnight Punpun. This manga is possibly one of the most depressing and realistic things I have ever come across. It is the story of a boy named Poonpoon, and follows him all the way from elementary school until around his early 20s. What makes this manga so special is the heavy psychological aspects surrounding him. and everyone else throughout the story. One of the main psychological aspects of the story has to do with Poonpoon's character design. He, as well as his family, start off looking like some kind of bird with long legs. His design changes a lot later on to reflect how he is feeling on the inside, but the important thing to remember is that he looks just like a normal human being to everyone else in the manga. This psychological horror manga has been loved by readers ever since its debut. The tragic coming-of-age narrative of Poonpoon follows the naive protagonist as he discovers the worst sides of adulthood. While the manga was praised endlessly for its relatable characters and unorthodox themes, the series was never animated. The story is so emotionally complex and visually unique that turning it into a worthy anime would be extremely difficult. If that wasn't enough, the protagonist is literally silent for the whole show. He never speaks. He never utters a word. So if they have to make it into an anime, they have to make Poonpoon talk, destroying the main essence of the source material. And number 1 goes to Vagabond. The story of a lone warrior. It starts off with a rather rude and yet beautiful scene of a battlefield in splendid watercolor. The manga just rides on from there, rising from peak to peak. The fights get better, and the character himself grows. And yet he grows realistically. He stumbles. He falls. He falls so hard that he finds it difficult to get back onto his feet. He takes the wrong path, does a bunch of wrong crap and makes the wrong enemies, and kills the wrong people. But he gets back up, and the story continues. One fun thing I have to mention, Vagabond is often compared to Berserk. Vagabond is considered to stand alongside it as it shares a lone swordsman on a journey to achieve more strength. That's about where the series' similarities end. From there, the differences only become clear. But one crispy difference between Berserk and Vagabond is that Vagabond has never been adapted into an anime. Whether that be because of the author's wishes or other complications, there has been no attempt made. This is probably for the best too. As mentioned before, the anime adaptation of Berserk almost ruined its legacy. So let's just hope that the same doesn't happen to Vagabond. It is a gem that has to be treasured by manga nerds like us. We cannot have the same fate as Berserk or Tokyo Ghoul. Well, I guess that's it for today. This one was a more relaxing video, but before you leave, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a like. It really means a lot. Again, if you are new to this channel, hit the subscribe button and press on that bell icon so that you never miss an update from us. And also, be sure to leave a comment down below if you think I forgot to add a manga to the list. And if there is, please let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to check it out. And if there's a lot, who knows? There might be another video. But as for now, I'll catch you later. See you in the next one.